The universe is full of mysteries, but one of the most curious is right next door, on the moon. On July 20th, 1969, humanity achieved the impossible. We set foot on another world. The Apollo missions inspired millions, expanded our knowledge, and made lunar exploration seem like the start of a new era. Yet, after just 6 missions and 12 moonwalkers, it all stopped in 1972. The world watched as Eugene Cernan, the last man on the moon, hoped we'd return soon. Decades passed, but we never did. Why did we turn our backs on the moon after such a monumental achievement? The answer isn't found in space, but here on Earth. The Apollo program was born from a unique moment in history, driven by rivalry, not just curiosity. Once the race was won, the urgency faded. The forces that sent us to the moon, politics, prestige, and competition, were the same ones that pulled us back. To understand why we left, we have to look at the world that made Apollo possible. The moon landing was the finish line in a much bigger contest. The space race began not with science, but with Sputnik's beep in 1957, a wake-up call that the US was falling behind. The Cold War turned space into the ultimate battleground for global prestige. The Soviets racked up firsts, first satellite, first man, first woman in space. President Kennedy responded with a bold goal: land a man on the moon before the decade's end. Apollo became a national mission, consuming over 4% of the US budget and employing hundreds of thousands. This was a war of rockets, not rifles, a race to prove which system would lead the future. When Armstrong planted the flag, it was a political victory as much as a scientific one. The US had won the race, but with victory came a loss of purpose. Apollo was never meant to be permanent, it was designed to win. Once the finish line was crossed, the appetite for costly lunar missions vanished. The very reason we went was the reason we stopped. The moon became a symbol of a race already run. With the moon race over, America's focus shifted to urgent problems at home: war, poverty, civil rights, and the environment. People questioned the billions spent on space while crises raged on Earth. The excitement faded, moon landings became routine, and TV coverage dwindled. Congress slashed NASA's budget, canceling future Apollo missions. The Saturn V rockets were retired, and dreams of a moon base were shelved. Apollo's end wasn't a failure of technology, but of political and financial will. The program had served its purpose for a specific moment in history. Science alone couldn't justify the cost. The winds of public interest had shifted, and so did NASA's mission. The moon faded from view as priorities changed. After Apollo, NASA turned its gaze closer to home: low Earth orbit. Skylab, America's first space station, proved humans could live and work in space for months. The space shuttle followed, promising routine access to orbit and launching icons like the Hubble Space Telescope. The shuttle never became cheap, but it built the International Space Station, a symbol of global cooperation. For over 2 decades, the ISS has been humanity's outpost in space, a lab for science and partnership. The focus shifted from flags to collaboration, just a few hundred miles above Earth. Meanwhile, robotic probes explored the solar system, sending back discoveries from Mars, Jupiter, and beyond. These missions kept the spirit of exploration alive while humans stayed close to home. We learned, we adapted, and we waited for the next leap. The moon for decades remained just out of reach. Now, after 50 years, the moon calls us back. This time, it's not about beating an opponent, it's about building a future. NASA's Artemis program aims to land the first woman and person of color on the moon, and to stay. The goal: a sustainable human presence, not just a flag and footprints. The new lunar race is global. China, India, Russia, and private companies are all in. The moon is a gateway, a source of resources, a testbed for technology, and a stepping stone to Mars. Science, economics, and strategy all drive this new era. We return to learn, to build, and to prepare for journeys deeper into space. The challenges are immense, but the reasons are stronger than ever. The moon, our silent neighbor, is calling again. This time we plan to answer with a lasting presence.